area since the last episode. I want to say I've moved over 2 times, right? Maybe 2 times, I'd say. Um, that was my last um, semester for freshman year, my second semester freshman year at Suffolk, and then I moved to another dorm for my sophomore year. Then I moved out because I went to UMass Boston. So that's another thing that's new. And then I went to Roxbury in Boston. That's where I was at for a year. And now I'm in Brighton. But you'll hear more about that later on in the pod, right? And as I know, many people are excited that the podcast is back. So am I, right? And, let's just keep that excitement going throughout the whole episode, right? So in typical sense of the podcast, we're going to um, just get right into a few things in the beginning. So first up, we have, and I know you guys were excited for it as well. It has just been clawing at you for the past couple of years. Jeffree Star and his relationship with an NFL star. I mean, those of you who don't know Jeffree Star, influencer, um, icon, has been rumored to be dating an NFL player, and now we know who it is as of recently. Um, it is Tyler Lewin of the Tennessee Titans. But hate to disappoint you guys, but they're not actually dating. They only did it for a podcast because they wanted to promote the podcast, right? Which I think is genius, kind of. I think we should all be taking notes, really, because, they're really changing the game. So keep your eye out on Jeffree Star. I mean, I haven't heard of him for years, or it seems like years, But yeah, he comes in out of the blue, and he just that big reveal. Anyways, moving on from that exciting topic, we have um, South Park did a new season. So those of you who are fans of South Park, new season comes out. I mean, that show's been on for forever. I think it's on the I want to say 24th season right now. So good for them, right? I mean, the show is great. I find it very entertaining. They just had a recent episode where they promoted. I wouldn't say promote, but they had, they written a character of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were in the South Park episode, and the whole idea of the episode was that they left the royal family, didn't like the publicity, didn't like being watched on, and the public family does have their own problems, right? They, probably aren't the most modern, you know, household, right? So they left that, but then they kept doing interviews. They're like, oh, we don't want the publicity. We just want to live on our own life. We want to have our own, you know, little circle, whatever. Can you blame them? No. Um, but they're celebrities. They're royals. Like, how far of? I mean, you've seen the documentaries. I mean, I think America is like hugely obsessed with the royal family. Um, Paparazzi everywhere. Like, it's hard to escape when you're living that life, right? Which I pity, but you know, on the other hand, they do all these like stunts where the publicity stunts where they're going on talk shows and whatnot, and they're saying anyway. That's what South Park has been saying. Is what I'm trying to get at. Is that they're talking about this whole thing where they're being hypocrites because yada yada yada, and you have Meghan Markle reacting to it, saying she doesn't like what they did on there. I mean, of course you're gonna be upset, right? There's more publicity about than no publicity, right? Um, but I just thought it was kind of funny because she's publicly stating that she dislikes the show, putting herself back into like the stratosphere of it all. Um, but I mean, other than that, good for her, right? She doesn't like the show. I mean, there's so many people who don't like um, how they're portrayed on South Park and shows such as that. So, um, but I don't know. I thought it was funny. Maybe you guys think it's funny. A little fun, little news topic for you. Another thing we have is those of you that are fans of Star Wars, we have The Mandalorian Season 2 coming out at the beginning of next month, March 2023. Um, I've always been a fan of the show, and I think Pedro Pascal is an amazing actor, right? And he's just in The Last of Us, which we'll get into later. And yeah, I mean, he's a hit. He's in all the hits recently. So keep your eye out on that if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a Harry Potter fan, or just a wizard fan. Hogwarts Legacy, the new game came out on a few platforms, not all platforms, but a few platforms. I personally have been playing it and I really enjoy it. There have been I would say there have been mixed reviews. I think the game itself is amazing, but there are obviously people online who are like, do not do this, do not support J.K. Rowling. Um, but I don't believe, and I would fact check myself, but just to keep it the flow, I'm gonna say I don't believe that J.K. Rowling has much power over the game, or if any power. I think the people who made the game, Portkey Games, I think, is the name of the company that produced it and made it. I don't think they took that much input on J.K. Rowling. Of course, it is her world, and they expanded upon it and they recreated it, brought it to life within this game. So there is some influence, but I wouldn't say that she had any decision making. I mean, um, she's had some pretty radical thoughts in the bad sense. So, if you want to try a fun little wizard game, to distract you for a while in this bleak world, I would definitely check it out. And if you don't, if you feel strongly about some of those topics, you obviously don't have to play it, but I've enjoyed it and I would check it out if I were you. So that is that. And next thing I want to mention is obviously the podcast, right? We're back. And I wouldn't get your hopes too far up in the sense that you're going to be expecting weekly episodes and such. I wouldn't go that far, but it is back, and I will be making more episodes, right? On my own time, right? I'm a busy guy, obviously. This past year and a half or so, um, I've been busy, right? But we're gonna have it back, and in due time, you'll have all your favorite people back on it. But I just want to say that it's great to be back. It's great for support and everything, and I'm excited. I'm excited for a new season of tech culture and just a new everything. So let's get right back into it. And yeah, so my guest today is Zach Martin. You know him, he's been on the pod. This time we have him on video. There have been no malfunctions or anything. So let's get right into it. Zach Martin, you know him, you love him. Enjoy. Welcome, Zach. You're here. Hello. Welcome.
It's great to be back on, Ted.
Yeah, first guest in the new kind of
New era.
Of tech culture, new season, if you will. Yeah, it's great to have you.
Yeah, good to be back with the Ted culture and the gummy bears.
And the gummy bears. Well, this time on video.
On video.
Yeah.
No gummy bear background.
No gummy bear backdrop.
Work.
Unless the video fails us like
fails.
last time because of who isn't here.
It doesn't happen, but
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get right into it
yeah,
then.
we'll get started on our first topic, apartment life.
Apartment life.
Yeah. All right.
A lot has changed.
A lot
Let's
has
just
changed
let's
since
just
last
say let's
time.
just put that out there. A lot has changed since about 2 years
Yeah, two
since the
years. I
last
think it's been over
episode.
2 years.
At least a year and a half since the
No, I think
latest
it's been two
episode.
episodes.
Two years
Oh
since
wait,
our
since
since
your
our
last one.
last
Oh,
episode.
okay. Okay.
But yeah, since you were on about
Hmm.
probably over 2 years, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's been a while.
I think you were on like
I was on one
before
episode.
Christmas of
Yeah, 2020.
2020.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, take me
Oh wait,
back,
no, maybe it was
honestly.
2020.
No, I think it was 2020.
Oh yeah, actually you're right because I went to boot camp in 2020.
Maybe
We'll
it was
talk about that
2021.
later.
I don't know. Who knows?
All right.
Okay.
Well, to start, last time
Yeah.
we talked, we were in the dorm rooms.
Yeah.
Now we're moved out of their parents'
Yeah,
basement into a lovely apartment.
that's right.
So what is your experience so far with the
My
apartment?
experience has not been very good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make that clear. I've had many. I mean, all like the little tales
Yeah.
of everything. So, I moved in. Well, let's go back a little further, if
Mm-hmm.
you will.
We'll go back.
So, I'm since the last episode, I left Suffolk. I went to UMass Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I got an apartment in Roxbury.
Tell the
Nice little
viewers about
place.
UMass Boston.
UMass Boston, beautiful school, beautiful campus. They're doing a lot of renovations.
Mm-hmm.
At the time I was going there, it was like February, and it was kind of gross, to be honest.
Kind of
Just the
gross.
weather. Just the weather was gross. It was an awful winter in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
early 2022. Awful winter.
It was a pretty bad winter.
Um,
Is that what
so
drove you back
just
to
windy
Suffolk?
and no, just I feel like Suffolk. I like the 4 credit classes.
Mm-hmm.
I met a lot of people here.
Does UMass
You're
Boston
here.
not have
They have
4 credit
three
classes?
credit. Like
Oh,
most
okay.
colleges actually have 3 credit
Right, I don't know that.
classes. So I'm
'Cause I think
grateful
they
that
take
Suffolk.
5 classes or
That
something.
people, yeah, and I was
Oh
like,
wow.
no way, I'm taking 5
Yeah.
classes with 3 credits each. No way.
Is
So I
it the
like that
same
about
course
Suffolk.
load?
It's the classes are shorter. I would say maybe probably
Sure.
the same amount of homework.
Okay.
But the classes are shorter because like the
Yes.
credit hour stuff. But yeah,
Better to
it's
have
a
4.
great area on the water.
Mm-hmm.
You see boats. There's like this National Grid big tank with some
Oh, I
art
know what
on
you're
it.
talking about.
Yeah, so that's nice. I don't know.
Sounds interesting.
It's a nice campus. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're making a new quad,
Like one.
so that's nice. We'll see that in the
As someone who doesn't
foreseeable
have a
future.
quad at the school, what's a quad?
A quad like a green area where students can relax,
Oh, like a common area?
yeah, like a little outdoor common area.
Okay.
Maybe you can throw the frisbee around, throw it,
Yeah, like on the
like say that if the
like those
ball
college tour videos where like someone's always throwing a
throw the
frisbee
frisbee,
around. Yep.
someone's playing like flag football,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's always something like
It's
that.
always like on like the school tours where like they're doing some kind of like sporting event and they're all like
Yeah,
running around like
yeah.
giggling.
Like let's go to the quad and
Mm-hmm.
do something fun, something like that, like play Foursquare or something,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a quad.
Okay, so they're
Yeah.
rebuilding them.
So there's just a huge dirt pile, and they're just
Oh,
they're making it.
they're
So
making it.
yeah, for Suffolk, we don't have a quad. We do have the commons.
They have the common.
So
That's pretty good.
that's our unofficial quad, I would
Mhm.
say, with the cemeteries around us.
Yeah.
I think those are the
I like to
quads.
frolic in the cemeteries.
Yeah, Paul Revere,
Mm.
dance over his grave.
Yeah, I don't know if Paul Revere
Ben
is buried
Franklin.
here.
He
Ben
is, yeah,
Franklin? Oh,
right
he
next
is?
to us, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ben Franklin's parents.
His parents, yeah, not Ben
His
Franklin.
parent, no, he's in
Yeah.
Franklin, I think, unless I'm wrong
Franklin,
about that.
Mass?
Franklin, Mass, I
I don't know
believe.
that.
I believe so, but I'm not entirely. Don't hold me to that.
Oh well.
Thanks. And so, because I left Suffolk, I got an apartment in Roxbury. Not the best neighborhood, but I actually enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah, I actually really did.
Really?
I lived like right next to the zoo.
What
It
zoo?
was the Franklin Park Zoo.
Oh, really? You live
Yeah,
there?
I
I didn't
lived
know
right.
that.
I lived
That's kind of far.
not too far. Well, yeah, it was kind of far, but it's not. It's not
Does
that
UMass
bad.
Boston have dorms there?
They do, but it's like the same thing as Suffolk, where you have to.
2 years?
Yeah.
2 years
So
dorm life.
2 years of dorm life, and you're out.
And you're out.
And
Get
you're
kicked
out. So I didn't do that, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's I'm fine with that because I had the apartment. I like living, you know, I like having a kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
living out on my own.
I like having a kitchen a lot.
Kitchens are nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, and I was lucky because my roommate situation is I stayed with him until April.
Mm-hmm.
My roommate Charlie, he went to Berkeley, and then he dropped out in April.
Oh, great.
And so I lived by, and then he left, but he still paid rent, so I lived by myself.
Why do you leave and still pay rent?
I try not to question it. You
Okay.
know, I think he left to go back home and live with his parents.
Were his
And
parents paying his rent?
his parents weren't paying his rent. Well, I don't think maybe a little, I think a part of it they were paying. And the rest were like through loans, and he had a job as well. But yeah, I think it was so his parents could buy him groceries and that stuff. So
Okay.
that's kind of why. So, but the only thing I didn't like was taking the bus.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of bad, and a few things in the
big
apartment.
buses.
And yeah, buses are
The T's are okay.
they're crazy.
The
I mean, the
buses-
subway. I'm not big on subways either, but I mean,
I'm not, I like subways
step
at
up.
times.
at times, yeah.
Like in the middle of the day, it's perfect. There's not a lot of people there.
Yes.
It's
Oh
kind of
my
going pretty
God.
fast. Like they come like every 5 minutes, but then like at 6 in the morning, it's packed.
It is.
So like 15-minute intervals in between.
Yeah.
It's like rush hour. Why are you guys?
I know
doing
everyone's
15-minute intervals?
standing for like an excessive amount of time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you're like standing on the train.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
That's rough. But yeah. And then so upgrade, new apartment, new year,
New year.
new me. I live in Brighton now. It's a
Great area.
very nice area. I have heating.
Eating. Oh, wow.
You know,
You
I'm
have
good.
eaten before?
I claimed I did.
You
It was
claimed
claimed. It was claimed that I had heating, and I did feel some heat coming out of the vents. But I think it's because the ceilings were high, and I lived on the first floor,
Mm-hmm.
thin walls, big windows.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it. But now I'm
Heat
in
rises, so
Heat
all the
rises.
heat from your apartment just went up.
I know my landlord lived above me for a while, and he was like, "Really? You had problems with the heat? I didn't notice."
It's toasty. It's like, yeah.
Meanwhile,
you're taking it
he's
all.
like, he's taking it all. Whatever. There's a mouse.
Yeah.
Whole ordeal.
Yeah, I
If
have
you will.
a very contrasting
Yeah,
situation. I have a very nice apartment.
it's
like
gorgeous.
yeah, it's renovated. I show you when I first moved in.
Yeah,
Like nice hardwood floors.
stainless steel appliances. Yeah,
Like granite countertops.
laundry
Not a fan
in
of
the
the
closet.
white countertops though, because
Yeah, because
you get like
see
one
the
stain on
stain.
and it stays there forever. But
Yeah,
you can get it out eventually. You just gotta get the right cleaner.
right.
Yeah, like you said, laundry.
Yeah, right
Central
next to
air.
the airport. Central air,
Yeah.
that's good. Next to the airport.
Right next to the airport.
Four
Um,
roommates, five roommates,
4 roommates.
four roommates,
What? Including, not including.
five
so
in
five.
five in total.
Yep.
That's nice. Little party,
Mm-hmm. Party every day,
Yeah.
whether I like it or not.
Yeah, right. Oh my God.
Whether I have a project due or not, there's always a party.
It's always a party.
Yeah.
It's a blast in the Martin household.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names in there, but I guess I'm one of them.
Yeah. And it's just,
I think it's a much better experience than the dorms.
I definitely think so.
Mm.
And it's cheaper. The
It is
dorms
cheaper.
at
Believe it or
Suffolk,
not, it is cheaper.
it is more affordable.
You'd think the dorms would be more
Would
affordable
be, yeah, because
because they're getting like
it's
a
less.
mass income.
Because you pack in, I mean, especially in my dorm sophomore year,
Oh yeah, you
it
were packed
was
in.
5 guys
You know,
packed in, and
my,
it was
my
we didn't have
girlfriend
nothing.
has. I don't know if it's your room. Was it 4M13?
I think so. I think that's the one.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend was in, and
Wow.
we got there.
14.
14.
I think it was 14.
4M14.
Or was it? I think it was 14.
I think
yeah.
you lived on 4M.
You could be right. I honestly,
I know
it's
like
a blur.
yeah, it's a blur.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. So
What was I gonna say? I went to
that same
the dorm-
layout.
Yeah, the same layout.
Oh no, it is because I remember
Yeah.
you saying it when you
Mhm.
helped her move in or something.
Yeah. Well, the walls were destroyed.
Yeah.
It smelled like weed.
Well, I left a semester
Yeah,
early. It
I know
definitely
that.
smelled like weed because the one who shall not be named would blaze it up
Blaze it up. Blaze up your room. You
like
walk in
every
after a
day.
long shift.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Just
Yeah, it's not what you always want to smell
right.
every second of
The
the day.
walls. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the
There's one
walls.
culprit. Just one guy.
Just one guy.
You know.
He hotboxed your room,
He
unfortunately, and hotboxed it for future residents.
hotboxed my
girlfriend.
heart, my mind. He put smoke in my head.
Smoke and mirrors.
So yeah. Yeah. It's just me sleeping and inhaling. It's not even the smoke. It's it's just his aura.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's move.
Yeah, we'll move
So
on.
that's the apartment. So that's moving in.
Yeah.
That and another big change is the weather. You're really
Weather,
noticing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It was very warm this winter.
yeah. I mean, so let's throw it back to 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time I had you on. That
Yeah.
winter, it was cold,
It was cold.
but we were living on campus. The dorm's not that
It was
far
more
of a walk.
snowy, cold.
Wasn't
Like, we had a
that-
pretty cold.
We'd had some cold days.
We had
I
some pretty cold
remember
days.
times going to like outdoor places, like Sweet Waffles and Boba,
Mm-hmm.
near South Station, in like during a blizzard.
Yeah,
Me and Kelly went down there, and
I remember.
yeah,
I went on a run like on one of like the biggest blizzard days. And,
Yeah.
like there wasn't a soul on the streets or anything.
oh my
For
god,
good reason.
yeah,
I was the only tracks in the snow. The snow was
Yeah.
like pretty deep, so it was just me and out there. No other tracks. No
Yeah.
nothing. And I'm like, what am I doing?
It
with
must
my
have been
life?
kind of nice. I don't know, a little
Yeah.
relaxing. Nobody out there.
It was kind of eerie.
Yeah, eerie. Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah, you're used to a million people going through in and out every day. And
Yeah,
it's just you.
yeah. And last year too was brutal
Mhm.
because I had a job and worked at that restaurant,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember that.
and I had that job, and I took the bus, right?
Mhm.
And so I would wait outside for the bus, and there have been days where I remember they called me in on a blizzard, and it was packed. The place was packed because no one wanted to go out. I don't know. They were just
No one else
But
wanted
they
to
did
work,
go
so
out.
they made you work.
they made me work. I worked, and so I stayed late, and then I waited for the bus, and the bus just never came because they didn't want to go on the. I don't know. They just didn't want to be out in the blizzard, and so I ended up taking the orange line and then walking from a stop. But the orange line, even then, it was like last train, and they always
Oh,
always
really?
wait an insane amount of time during the
Mhm.
last train.
Yeah.
So I didn't get home until like 4 in the morning, I
Oh
think
wow,
that
that
day.
is.
Yeah, it was rough. I might be exaggerating that, but it was at least 3 in the morning when I
Mhm.
got back during that blizzard. I remember I couldn't feel my legs. I was like, this is this is bad.
Public transportation in Boston isn't
You know.
the best.
It really
It's
is.
okay.
Yeah,
You
Well-
can get to places.
buses are not
No.
reliable.
No, the
I'd
buses
say.
are not reliable.
They skip your stop half the time, or
Mhm.
I don't know. They do what they want, which is whatever. But I do feel for them. Don't
Mhm.
get me
No, I
wrong.
do.
It's a tough business.
It really is.
Yeah. But this year, I mean, weather-wise, it is warm,
Warm.
warm, warm,
Very
warm.
warm.
Yeah. So,
Unfortunately.
yeah,
I guess,
you definitely notice the effects of climate change. Like this time last year would be all the blizzards. There
Yep.
would be like the 20-degree days,
Yep.
And right now it's like 40 degrees and raining. And the other day it was like 60 degrees, sunny, like beautiful,
Mhm.
like it felt like a summer day,
Yeah, no, it
honestly, or
did.
like late
It
spring.
was like it'd be 70s, and then you walk
Yeah.
outside, it's sunny, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I'd be
Pleasant
like wearing like
surprise.
3
I'm like,
layers.
yeah, I'm wearing 3 layers. I'm like, oh well.
I'm like, oh, I
I
gotta
don't
go
need
back
that
in and
today.
change. Yeah, right. Which is horrific, honestly. It's a little frightening,
Yeah, I wonder where
So-
next year's gonna lead us,
I know. It'll
or
be
even like
80.
the summer.
This summer will be 20.
You know what? That'll be
Complete
okay.
flop. Yeah, I'll move to Antarctica. It's
Might as well. Probably be warmer there.
probably gonna be real estate over there,
Yeah, once all the
Um,
ice caps melt and the land shows up, we'll be good.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll be good to go.
We'll be good. Well, I'll be in Mars probably by then as a robot. I'll be just
I'll probably be dead.
a conscience resurrected into a robot on Mars.
I wish that
That'd
was
be me.
me.
Selling Bitcoin for the rest of my life.
That's not a bad life.
You know,
What's wrong with that?
nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. You know, it's the things you make of it.
Mm-hmm.
Another big thing, AI
AI
developing.
is a very big thing.
Huge, huge thing, huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, compared to a year and a half ago, I didn't even think AI could. I mean, there was the chat bots, there was
Have you ever heard of ChatGPT?
ChatGPT, yeah,
Yep.
that's a big thing now.
My professors always bring it up, like, don't do it, like, because you
Don't
can
do
code
it.
in ChatGPT.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you can
really?
make whole coding assignments.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and I had an existential crisis after using it for one of my projects.
Yeah,
Like, I just wanted like a little bit of help
right.
because I like didn't know where to go.
Can't
I was
blame a
like,
man
yeah,
for
like, you know,
for
like
using it.
desperate
It's the
calls,
future.
desperate measures.
Yeah.
It is the future. I put it in and it brought it up in like 10 seconds, and I was like,
Hmm.
wow, I'm gonna be obsolete in
Yeah,
maybe
I
less than 10
know.
years.
Oh, don't think about it like that.
No,
I know you're never going to be obsolete, Zach.
you
Your
don't think so?
creativity
Really? Are you
is going to
sure?
be unmatched.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah.
No, AI is taking over.
Yeah. It's taken over art. Have you seen
Yeah, I've
those
seen
like
the art and stuff.
Dolly, I
Yeah.
think is another AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's replicating art, it's making videos, it's
Yep.
making scripts, it's making you can have a movie in like 3 days now, and
Yeah.
it's just all AI generated. Well, I don't, well, you know, like it's going to be the case where people make movies in 3 days, edit over it, and then bam, spit it out quick. Um, and
I think that's a good thing for society.
you know,
Is it a step forward or a step back?
it's a it's a step. That's actually interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think in terms of creativity, I think it's hard to match humans,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more about expressive. Like like a human expressing itself is different than a robot expressing
Oh, it
itself.
definitely is.
Like I think maybe you can confuse it with human art, like some of those, paintings made by AI
Mm-hmm.
are crazy, but they're not perfect.
They're
And
not
even if they
perfect.
do get perfect, I think it would lose its meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I think, whereas human art, I think will be
I think
different.
because it's imperfect, it's what
Yeah,
makes it perfect.
that's what makes it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
How
blessing
poetic.
right there. That is poetic. Um, and yeah, and I think in terms of like, I think it will change the world a lot,
Mm-hmm.
making things easier. And, I mean, we use coding. Think about coding. We use
Mm-hmm.
coding computers. These are all tools
Yeah.
to make things more efficient, more useful. And I think AI definitely helps with that. Um,
It helps, but it's also not perfect. Like I'll ask you to do something, and it might just be because of my input. But
mhm,
like, what person's good at like doing something perfect? So I
right.
put in like maybe an imperfect prompt, and they'll
Yeah.
give me an imperfect answer.
Yeah.
So I would get an answer back, and I'm like, well, this isn't really what I'm looking for.
Right.
But
Right. And I don't think it'll ever be perfect too.
no, I don't think it will.
It's always going to have that robotic feel
Mhm.
to it. I know. But it does. What I've seen online is the voices.
Oh
You
yeah.
can make like these script like an AI will generate a script, or you can give it a script, and it'll like replicate audio if you like feed it enough like voice clips and whatnot.
Hmm.
So even like if I put in all my podcast episodes and just included like my voice speaking,
Hmm.
and give it to an AI, it could like replicate my voice. You give it like anything to say, and it'll sound like me.
Yeah, and AI's gonna take over TED culture.
It could take over. It could take over tech culture, which I can interview myself in the future.
Hmm.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
the robot's gonna be interviewing
The
you.
robot,
How's it feel
the
to be
robot will
imperfect?
interview. Yeah, right. And so, yeah, no problem with that, to be honest. Um, but you see a lot of these like TikToks of
Yeah.
like Trump and just saying like these wild stuff. Trump, Obama, anybody, Elon Musk. That's
Hmm.
another like you can get anybody to say
I saw
anything.
one
If you
today
have
actually.
Kanye, you
Yeah.
can get him. You know, just another thing that's
Hmm.
changed over the past
It
2
works
years
great with like
is
presidents because they're
Kanye.
well known. They have a
Yeah,
lot of
a
voice
lot of
clips.
yeah,
Um,
that's right.
'Cause their speeches are always recorded.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah, and I see all the Call of Duty, they're playing zombies and they're just talking to each other, like, playing Rocket League or something funny like that. I don't know. It kills me. It
It
really
really
does.
is.
So, but it is eye-opening to see how crazy
Yeah.
AI can get.
Yeah. I was at work and someone was like, "What's wrong, Zach?" And I was like, "Well, I think I'm gonna have a job soon." It's like, "You don't even have a job." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
"Yeah, that's not the point.
Right.
It's AI's already doing things I can't even do."
I know.
I'm like, "Well,
Yeah, we're all gonna be out of jobs, I think, in the future.
yeah."
But that's the good part of it. Well,
I won't have to
robots will
work.
take all the jobs.
I won't have to
We don't
work.
have to
It's gonna.
work. We don't have to do anything.
Well, then
It'll be
capitalism
like
is gonna
it'll
work.
be like Wally.
Wally.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong with that. Well, that's living the life right
Yeah,
there.
that's the life I want to live.
Yeah. God bless. Amen. Amen to that.
Amen.
Um. All right, next topic. You've heard about the spy balloon,
I have heard about the spy
the
balloon.
Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the army.
Hmm.
You know a lot about national defense.
Oh yeah.
Well, more than me. So, why don't you talk about some ideas? So, like,
To
what,
get rid
what
of
are
the
your
spy.
thoughts? No, what are
My
your thoughts
thoughts.
about this spy? So let's talk about like an overview of the spy
I
balloon.
think it's really funny.
I think it is kind of
Um,
funny. Yeah.
I don't know what person approved the balloon.
Yeah,
I think it's
right.
really funny. It's like, all right, so we have a balloon. It's gonna
Yeah,
spy on people.
but it's going to be
It's
huge,
gonna be huge. It's like it's not gonna
round.
be really much of a spy thing. It's just like a
Mm,
really cheap way of just an attempt.
yeah,
You shoot every shot.
and they
Sometimes
were
it will
shooting.
miss.
Yeah,
I think it was a big miss, but
yeah,
uh, to be fair, they shot it down with like like a couple $1 million missile. So I mean, who really won here?
yeah.
I
That's
think the Chinese
true.
won. They got all their information,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
a
probably
bet.
cost less than the fucking missile they
Yeah,
shot it
to
down with.
build that balloon. I
Hmm.
mean, anyone, I could blow up a
I can make a
balloon, put
balloon.
a GoPro on it.
Yeah,
That's a spy balloon
it's a
right
spy
there.
balloon.
Um, yeah, dude, we got to take some notes. The
I'm not sure
army
what they even need a balloon for, because they have TikTok.
or drones. Yeah, TikTok. Yeah,
TikTok's
TikTok.
a huge wealth
They
of
do spy
just.
on you,
They spy on you
right?
on TikTok. I can
Yeah,
tell you that. I deleted it because, first of all, it's too captivating.
it is.
I will be
It
stuck
sucks
on
your
there for
soul. I think
hours.
that will defeat the American people. I think if anything is
Hmm.
TikTok,
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna go with that.
the influence of it is just nuts,
Yeah.
and like the trends go in and out super fast.
Yep.
I don't know if people do TikTok dances still. I think it's sort of like a phase a couple years ago,
Yeah.
but um,
Yeah.
just like all the trends that go in and out, like it's nuts.
I know.
And the human mind is just so impressionable, especially like at that age. Their target audience is like teenagers, like
Teenager
maybe
children,
yeah,
teenagers.
teenagers before, after, that general
Yeah.
age range,
They
the
really are
impressionable mind.
influencing the
Yeah.
youth like that, and really, and just
Some people will just like be talking about like the latest like trend, and I'm like, huh?
yeah.
I've been off for like
It's
maybe a
hard
month
to
or two,
it's hard
and
to keep up. Yeah.
it is, and they're already out. I'm like,
It's a whole
I'm aging
world.
out of it already.
Yeah, you are. You're getting old,
I was off it for like a month and a half, and now I'm already aging
and
out.
now you're yeah.
I don't understand it,
Now
but
what is your chopped liver?
I'm chopped
Your
liver.
chopped liver. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if we should learn anything on how to, I would say defend against these attacks. I
Hmm.
think we need to, the army needs to learn.
Yeah.
They
Taking
use
notes.
missiles. They use missiles when they could be using
A phone.
a phone. They could be using,
I think that's what the American defense needs more, is just like technological defenses.
yeah,
Cyber
cyber
warfare. It's a big
jinx.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We're like not even up there in cyber warfare.
No,
Not
I recently saw a map of cyber attacks,
mhm.
and the U.S. is
The
getting
U.S. is
shit on. It's like one of the only.
the U.S. is the hub of cyber
It really
attack
is.
victims.
You see, like, there's probably like 100 per second, 100 like
Mhm.
cyber attacks per second.
Oh yeah.
At least. I mean, that's actually a wimpy number.
Yeah,
Forget
that's like
about
a
it.
lowball number.
That's all we know.
Because
Um,
a lot of major corporations in America,
yeah,
who they want to take down, all the fucking
yeah.
big
And
corporations.
I think a lot of it is disguised by, um, what always gets me? Those cookies
Hmm.
on the internet.
Yeah, accept all cookies.
Accept all cookies, and you gotta accept the
It's either
cookies.
like a big yes or like
Yeah.
get off our
Or
website.
like a 50% transparent text that says, no thanks, I won't use any
Yeah,
cookies.
or it's like
Yeah,
yeah, it's like super small in the corner.
yeah,
And you're like, well, I guess
exactly.
I'd rather click the big
I
one.
know. Yeah, just click that. Whatever lets me read this article faster.
Hmm.
Cookies, ads. I have ad blocker, and you see
Yeah.
like anytime I go on a website that has an article, it's like disable ad blocker or else you can't read it.
It's
You
just
know?
crazy how like you'll be talking about like a certain topic.
Hmm.
You'll go on your phone and you get like an ad on Instagram for that really specific thing that you really wanted.
Yes.
You'll talk about how much you want like I don't know microwave, and then you'll get
Yeah.
like microwave ads on
I'm like, I
Instagram.
can't afford. I can't afford one of these. Are you
I
kidding?
mean that they're advertising too. It just means you can
Yeah.
afford it.
Yeah. Right. It's like
Makes you want it more.
yeah. I say like I need to wash my dishes, and it shows me like dishwashers. I'm
Yeah.
like, who's gonna buy a $500 dishwasher with installation?
You can
And
buy a little $200 one.
I actually
It's
did
like a
end
little
up
box.
pressuring.
Oh,
I
you
did
did?
actually did
Yeah. I was gonna say you can
buy
fill
a
it
little
in.
box
You can buy
one.
it on Amazon. You can fill it
Yeah,
with water, like just like in that little jug
exactly what I
thing.
have.
Hmm.
That is exactly what I needed too.
Yeah.
It took me a while, though. I got those ads early when I first had the apartment, and I was like, someday, living a life of luxury, having this dishwasher
Hmm.
would change my world, and it
Rock
did,
your world.
and it did. New year, new
New year,
me,
new
new
you.
dishwasher. Yeah, and it really did. It's a game changer.
Hmm.
It really is.
I don't see anything wrong with getting information using it for advertisements
Yeah,
because in reality,
I
it's
mean, I
like,
need it.
yeah,
I
exactly.
needed it, and
You
I
wouldn't have
got it.
known.
Exactly.
You
So
wouldn't
it
have
did help
known.
me. Although listening in is kind of
Listening in, that's a little
that's
questionable.
a little
Well,
questionable.
using based off like search history,
Yeah,
like if you allow it,
yeah. It's
why
like you
not?
looked it up, right?
Mhm.
You're kind
Yeah.
of responsible
If you're
for
like
that,
looking
but
for
you're
like
guilty.
dishwashers for sale,
Yeah,
and then like an advertisement for dishwasher, like that makes
it's like
sense.
you wanted to know what's for sale, and
Hmm.
you go and they
Now
tell
using
you
like
just
voice
own the
voice recognition, no.
That's like the Alexas and the Google
Yeah.
Homes and all that kind of stuff. Whatever. Even like your laptop. My laptop probably records and does stuff I don't even know about. But yeah, I mean, it's scary stuff. It's really like a privacy versus security kind of
Hmm.
thing, or like a commercial aspect too,
Hmm.
like a convenience almost. So, and everyone has different opinions on it, but just putting it out there.
Yeah. It's just a matter of what
People
you
are
want more.
listening, people are watching. Is it good? Is it bad?
Hmm.
Up to the people, right? Up to the little gummy bears,
The
right?
little gummy bears.
So let's go to our next topic. To the army. Let's talk about the army.
Army. All right.
Yeah.
So before I came on the show,
Yeah.
this was pre-boot camp.
Yep.
Now here I am, post-boot camp.
Yep. Rugged man.
Yep. 2 years
Yep.
in, not really rugged.
More rugged.
More rugged.
You had a lot more hair the
A lot
last
more
time you were
hair.
on. So yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think the overall experience was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a positive experience. There were some bad times. It was a lot of bad times.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that bad.
Character building time.
It was a lot of character building times.
Yeah.
Now I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm a reservist, so I just go,
Talk about your field a little bit.
All right, so I'm a civil affairs specialist.
All right.
That means a lot of things. It could be. It kind of just depends on what like the mission is.
Mhm.
So for like the main part, we're like liaisons between, say, a non-governmental organization like the Red Cross,
Yeah.
or what was I gonna say? Also, train of thought. Or like a local leader.
Yeah.
So like, say a local leader really needs help with something, and say an organization like the Red Cross wants to give supplies to them,
Mhm.
but they don't want to get shot at. They're gonna have us go in, and we're gonna help them out.
Right.
In exchange, we get like, say, information.
Okay.
So
Money.
money, yeah. They get money. We're usually the ones giving them money.
Oh, you give them money. Okay.
We're usually the ones.
For information.
Yeah,
That's a huge
information. 'Cause that's what we are always needing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. You do great deals
Yeah,
for this country and for all the countries out there that
all the
need your
countries.
help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the job. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than just being like some kind of like really basic job like a truck driver.
Mhm.
No, nothing against them. I just don't
No.
want to. That's not what I want to do.
Right. I mean, you could truck drive.
I could,
It could
yeah.
be in the in the future
Yeah,
if
if
you
I really
decide
want to be
to.
a truck driver now, I want to be
Yeah.
a truck driver.
I always play that truck simulator. I'm
Hmm.
always on that because it's
You want to
living
be
a
a truck
life.
driver?
You're attracted to things that you don't have really much experience with, and I think that as a game is one of my favorite games to
Really?
play. You're just trucking. It's like very relaxing.
Hmm.
You just get to chill and you truck.
You
You
truck.
know, put on some music. Really integrates me to that world.
Hmm.
You know, get a lot of respect for that.
Truck driving?
Truck driving.
On a video game?
Yeah, on after a video game. Yeah. Um, yeah. But do you have class? Shouldn't you?
No, I don't have class.
Okay. I think what's
I
it say?
did have class. I didn't have class, I guess. I got canceled.
Oh, so
Yeah.
let's go. Yeah.
Boo.
We could have an actual
Yeah. Big podcast.
full podcast.
Yeah, thanks for telling
I was
me.
gonna say I was
never-
gonna have to make my solo part in the beginning like an hour long just to compensate. But yeah, that's good. All right, so that's you doing God's work for the army. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's great. And do you see
It's fun.
a lot of job outlook through the army? Would you say?
So like for them, like you would think, I
Yeah.
haven't had a lot of luck yet.
Yeah.
It might just be because everywhere I've applied is super competitive.
Okay.
Like we're in Boston, I'm competing with Harvard, MIT,
Oh yeah.
Northeastern, BU, and are they gonna look at the Suffolk kid with like a 3.0 and go, "This is the guy I
Or
want"?
probably the MIT kid with a computer science
Yeah.
concentration, and he's like killing it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, he's killing it. He came all the way from God knows where, and
Yeah.
he was probably like the star of his entire time zone. And,
Yeah,
he's
yeah, right.
He's coming here, and I have to compete with him. So it's like, well,
Yeah.
I guess it's definitely a leg up.
Yeah.
I have a security clearance, so I guess
that's
that
good.
can help me with like
Right.
more federal jobs.
Yeah. More
Um,
niche kind of
more
area.
niche, yeah.
I see.
I haven't had a luck yet though.
And would you ever consider outside of Boston, outside of Massachusetts?
I would, if the
Yeah.
job pays enough,
Mm-hmm.
if it's worth it. If it's really what I want to do. I'm not gonna go
Yeah.
out of Boston to go work a mediocre job for a little
Yeah,
pay.
right.
But I mean, things happen.
Right, things happen.
Yeah.
That's right. And I see you as like a chameleon. I feel like you can adapt to
Mhm.
any kind of environment and really succeed. So you just have that
Thank you,
quality
Ted.
about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ted.
Well,
Make me
I
blush.
tell it how it is, So, that's good.
Mhm.
That's good. You got like kind of what's the word? Kind of experience, I would say, connection, and access to a world in which
Yeah, it's
others can't really
It's a whole new
follow.
world for just
Yeah.
like army stuff.
For veterans.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or
just government
soldiers.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Whole new world.
A whole new world. Yeah, well, that's
Sorry, I
great.
had a cough.
No worries. I mean, the weather is like so
Yeah.
nasty.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's only going to get colder, I think, this week.
Yep.
It's going to get
Gonna be colder
cold.
this week.
It's going to snow. It's going to rain. It's going to be humid as fuck, and there's nothing you can do.
At this point, just get a tornado. Just
Just
do it all
that's
in
what
one
I
day.
think that's what we need. I
Just
think
like
it's
one
just
big tornado.
I would kill for that, honestly. Just like
I don't know if
just
I'd kill for
one.
it, but
I would have killed. Well, that would kill us. I
It'd
think.
kill us,
It would
yeah.
kill a few of us. Just a tornado sweep through.
and then like for the rest of the year, just have it normal.
Just have beautiful days for
Yeah,
the rest
beautiful
of the year.
days.
Yeah. We'll go underground for that one day
Mhm.
with the
We'll
tornado.
evacuate the ground.
Yeah. That's a movie. They should make that.
Yeah, but it's nice being out of boot camp.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
say. It was only like a very brief experience. It was only 2.5 months.
Well, that was like the biggest. That's the big chunk
Yeah.
right at the beginning
hmm
that gets you into the
Yeah, the big bang.
thing. The big bang.
Yeah, for being a reservist like me.
Yeah,
That's how it is.
that's
And
it.
then I do like my various other events.
Right.
They always say like, oh, it's only a weekend a month, but it's always more.
There's always, yeah. It's
Um,
not the worst thing.
yeah,
You know,
you don't
it's not
count
always a
like
bad thing.
you don't count like rotations, deployments,
Yeah,
random training exercises they make you do.
yeah,
But overall, it's not bad.
yeah. That's good. That's good. You know, moving on from that, you're
Mhm.
also a part of cross country,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to remember. I don't know if you necessarily went so far into that the last time you were on the podcast. I know we've had Connor,
I
we've
didn't go
had
too far
Kelly.
into it
Yeah,
because it was the first
it's a new
semester.
thing. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a new thing to you.
we didn't really have we didn't have any meets. We had
Yeah.
like practices twice a week, so it wasn't really like a big part of my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
But I can go into it a little more this time around.
Yeah, let's hear it. I
Got
mean,
practice every
you've had some
morning.
big meets since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, just go into like
I'll go into
the
like
psyche
yeah the
of the
psyche.
cross country
So
Suffolk University cross
so
country
you'll
runner.
get home from like around like 10:30 from work,
Mm-hmm.
and the impending doom of having to wake up in 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like by the time you're like all ready to go to bed, it's like 12. Maybe you have an extra assignment to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things always pop up. So like you go to bed around 12. The impending doom of having to wake up in 5 hours because you
Mm-hmm.
got practice and it takes that half hour to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it sucks.
I know.
I don't like it sometimes.
It's like a gut feeling, like
Mhm.
something's
Like something bad's about to
clenching
happen.
in your gut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Every night.
I know, just the fear.
The fear.
The fear.
And
The fear
practice
creeps in.
itself isn't that bad. It's just like the early
Mm-hmm.
times, and then it throws off your entire day because
Yeah.
you'll run 10 miles lifted, and then
Mhm.
now your day's starting. And it's like 9 a.m. and you're
Yeah.
like, great.
And you have classes
Mhm.
that run from early morning to
Early morning,
night,
late at night,
late at
then you
night,
got work.
and then you have work, and
My
then you.
Tuesday to Thursday schedule is a nightmare. I have to leave
Hmm.
our apartment at 5:50 in the morning, get there, go to practice,
Yeah.
do like that's a big mile day, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
So I'm either doing like 10 miles or something like that, and then a rough range, and then I have to lift after, and then after, I got classes at 9:30.
Yeah.
I got a class at 11,
Hmm.
and then I have class at 2, and then I work at 5. So
I know,
I don't get back till 10:30.
on top of that, you have to cook, eat,
Yep. I'm
clean,
never able to cook.
shower,
Yep.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
just
know.
like the activity. It doesn't include like my mundane
Yeah.
daily life things.
Yeah.
I haven't cooked in like weeks. I
Yeah.
haven't been able to.
Oh my
There's
God.
always something new popping up, and
I
I'm like,
know. I just get too lazy to
Mhm.
cook, but
cooking takes so much time.
it really does.
The prepping,
I
the actual cooking, the eating, the cleaning.
I know.
It's
Even
like 2
something
hours later.
even something simple as like making chicken.
I know.
You have to wash the chicken. You
Yep.
know, if you want it to be good, you marinate it.
hmm
Um,
I don't bother marinating.
I mean,
I've given up.
I know. Just put some spices last minute.
Yeah.
Throw it on
whatever
at
you
the
can
end.
on there.
Yeah. Prepping,
hmm
actually cooking it takes a little bit. And then if you want anything other than just chicken,
Yeah.
you got to make that, and it's like whole thing.
Even
And
something as easy as like a stir fry where I
yeah.
make chicken, I put in with a bunch of vegetables,
Hmm.
and then I have like a thing of rice on the side.
Yeah.
It takes so long.
I
It's
bet.
2 hours later from start to finish.
Yeah. And it's like you could make microwave food. You could get like the easy
hmm
made stuff.
It's like it's all expensive.
It's expensive. It's not as healthy for you. There's preservatives. There's whatever they want to,
hmm
give you. And then, you know, I don't know. It's difficult.
It is.
Yeah. And then you got to do that for a few meals a day.
Yep.
Um, and this might just be, young college student talk, right?
Yeah.
Like
I don't have.
you probably have people in their adult lives
Yeah.
being like, "Oh, I cook every day. Like it's not that big of
Mhm.
a deal." And sometimes you enjoy cooking, and you end up most of the time. Whenever I cook an actual meal, like it comes out better than I would think, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, it's rewarding. It is rewarding.
It is rewarding.
Cooking your own food, it is nice, and that's why I like having my own kitchen and living in an
Mhm.
apartment. It is nice.
I do
will
like
say.
making my own food because you know exactly what's going in there. You know
Yeah.
exactly what you're getting.
Hmm.
Unless you cook it wrong, but
Unless you cook it, yeah.
yeah. Doesn't
Um,
happen too often though.
but you learn,
You learn,
cook,
yep.
you end up cooking enough that you become a little chef,
Yeah.
if you will. Um, but yeah,
No, I do prefer cooking than like dining hall food. I don't
I
gonna lie.
agree. Well, they say that I think Suffolk University's dining hall food changed. I'm trying to think if the last one or our current one was the one that they serve in prisons. I'm trying to remember
There
which
was
one.
Sodexo, I think, previously,
Was that the prison? I think that
and then we have
was
Chartwell's currently.
okay.
I think Sodexo serves prisons.
I think Sodexo does serve prisons.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong. I
I,
mean,
I, I mean, it's
if they're
pretty.
eating that food in prison, it's like
It might. I
okay.
mean, you gotta think like
They're
if.
having turkey burgers
Yeah, that's not that bad.
and some celery
Maybe
and
prison isn't
tots.
too bad.
Yeah, right.
You can't pay me to go there, but
Yeah,
maybe it's not that bad.
maybe it's yeah, that's right. Well, they overcharged everything Sodexo.
Yeah,
I
no,
remember that.
well
They
that and
well, that's
Chartwell's
just
does
dorm
too.
life, I think. Yeah, I think that's just
I think that's just what they charge
cafeteria
the
food.
school,
Yeah,
unfortunately. And then the school
can't help
charges
that.
it too. And by the time the price rolls around, it's like $10 for a
Yeah,
sandwich, and you're like,
you have a
where'd the
meal.
other like I don't know $7 come from?
Yeah, right. It's like 15 bucks
Like it costs
for a
probably
sandwich
around
of
like
fries.
yeah like three roughly per
Hmm.
unit, like per sandwich.
And then you have to have that all meals
Yep.
of the day is just like 50. So that's like 45, 50. If you want a snack on the
If you
side
want
or
like a
anything,
snack, that's like just the
that's over
base.
50 bucks a day,
Mhm.
I would say.
And that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And then you have like your
Imagine
meal
working
plan, which
five
is
hours
like
a
a
day just to eat.
thousand, 1,000 to like 1,500, depending on your meal plan, and that runs out quick. And then you end up like a month before the semester ends, and you're like, I have $100 in my account. How am I gonna get through this month,
I
right?
remember on my freshman year, I had meal plan C. That's the lowest meal plan.
Yeah, I think I had the same one.
Because I didn't think like, oh, why would I get a bigger meal plan?
All right, I'm not gonna eat that much,
Yeah,
right?
like I'm not that much of a big
I'm not
eater.
an athlete.
I mean,
I wasn't. I
yeah,
wasn't.
I was an athlete, but I wasn't thinking like, oh, like
Yeah,
I'll just buy stuff, like I'll have
yeah.
snacks. It won't be that big of a deal. Like I didn't eat that much in high school.
Hmm.
I was thinking like, oh, it's probably just gonna be like a sandwich and like like maybe a thing of chips and like a drink, and that'd be
Yeah,
like one standard meal. Like that's not bad.
yeah.
No,
No,
apparently that's too much to ask for.
it really is way
Didn't
too
know
much.
that.
You can't have just like a Um, even so, I like wish we had like a swipe system. Like you
Hmm.
have other schools that have like meal swipes, so you don't have like, and then you can get whatever.
I visited Endicott College
Oh
up
yeah,
in where is it? I know it's just like north of Boston.
yeah.
I forgot the place.
I'll do a quick search for
Yeah,
you.
do a quick search. While you're doing that, I'll talk about. They have a swipe
Beverly,
system. Beverly, yep.
Beverly.
It's in
Okay.
Beverly, Mass. It's a very nice school there. They have a swipe system,
Hmm.
and it was like amazing.
Yeah,
All you can eat.
yeah. A little
Um,
buffet, a little
yep,
meal
little
for
buffet.
you. Yeah. If only
You
we
just
could have
swipe in,
that.
and you get guest swipes.
And that it's like food security.
Yeah, it
It
is.
really is.
It's food security.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're super hungry, just go in and eat a bunch, and then you'll be done for like a while.
Yeah.
As of like
You can
here,
get honestly, you can get all three meals
yeah, like
throughout
if
your day just
just
in
like with
one
one
meal.
swipe, if you plan it out really well, if you like
Right.
sneak food out. I know
Yeah.
that sometimes they don't like that a
They
lot,
don't,
but
yeah, right.
if you're able to sneak it out, like you can get 3 meals in one swipe.
Right.
It's possible.
It is possible. Anything's
It's not very
possible.
possible here, unless you're
Right.
just physically stealing food.
Yeah, right.
For the sake of the camera, I'm not going to say I have,
Right, right, right. But I
um,
think
I would never steal.
no, I would never know. What was dangerous, I think, was they put Ben and Jerry's
Yeah,
and that sucked me dry. That really
the
got
Ben and
me.
Jerry's.
The Ben and Jerry's really got me.
They really know how to like market to us too. They probably
Go-
at least near the
yeah.
end.
They're like, what would stressed out, anxious and depressed college students need in their life? And
Give them some ice
and they're
cream
like,
and just
just
like
give
leave
me.
it at the end and always have it stocked,
They
like to
do
the
always
brim.
have it stocked.
It's always stocked
They
to the
have that,
brim.
yeah,
I'll try to get like this is last year. I don't know if
yeah.
I'm doing plan this year. I would like go get dinner. They'd have no food,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like leaving, and they're like ice cream is stocked to the brim. They're like really unhealthy snacks
Yeah.
always there. It's never like, oh, here's the healthy snack. No, it's like, oh, here's like
No.
the chips, the cookies, always there.
Yeah.
The
The
sodas.
pudding.
Yep, the pudding.
The
I do like the
pud-
pudding there.
Yeah.
That's always stocked, but no, I can't eat healthy.
No.
I don't know why.
You can't get a good salad. I think Sodexo actually used to make a good salad in this building we're in right now. 73 Tremont.
Yeah, they did.
Cafe 73, they made
Yeah.
these like amazing salads. They had like a Korean
They
steak
still
Caesar
sell stuff.
salad. They do, but it's not the same.
Not the same.
They just you can't get a good like
Remember the burrito section?
yes,
Yeah.
you get like a chicken Caesar on a ciabatta bread,
Yep.
and that was just so good. They put that like little panini press machine
Yeah.
thing on it.
They
I'm
still
like,
have that.
damn.
The panini press
Yeah.
is still there.
Oh, that is so good. And then you get
I had
just
one
like a
pretty
wrap.
recently at Sergeant. It was bad.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss that.
I missed the burrito section. They always had like lo mein every day and like
Oh,
fried
yeah.
rice. And I was like, this
Yeah.
is awesome.
They'd have like sushi that just sits in the little thing all day.
Oh, I
Along
don't
with
think
like,
about that.
yeah.
I would get the vegetarian sushi
I
because
remember
it's well, I don't want
Yeah.
to get sick.
Right, no, that
That's
makes
basically
sense. Yeah, I can't blame you for that.
Yeah. No, the food's not great here.
Right.
I just wish we had a swipe
You
system.
can't win. You
No, you
know,
can't win.
when you're young and broke, you buy cheap food that doesn't make you feel good or healthy.
Yeah.
And when you're at college, you can't do anything but rely on the food. And you know, is it a deciding factor on where you go to college? No, not really.
Not really,
No.
but like it should be.
It does help. It really does
helps a
help.
lot.
It helps my mental
Mm-hmm.
strength, I think, mental and physical strength. Because you know the gut really does impact your brain
It
and all those
does.
things. So
I think that's one of the most important parts of your.
it really is. I drink some of those probiotics
Yeah.
every day.
Do you feel good
I feel better each day.
each day?
Each day I grow
Is it like
progressively
linear, so like every day you just get better and better?
exponential, I would say.
Exponential. Oh
Yeah.
wow, it's going way
I
up.
know.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Shout out Activia probiotics.
Sponsored.
Sponsor me. Or kombucha, a big kombucha fan.
Big kombucha
I'd say.
fan.
Well, not a big fan, but a fan,
Mhm.
I'd say.
I'm a big
Definitely like a
kombucha,
little
like,
some booch.
Higher alcohol content kombucha guy.
Oh, all right,
Just
a little
like drink.
classy. Yeah.
Pretty classy.
All right, I like that. I do. All right, so Zach, big question. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, probably the chicken, I'd say.
All right, well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I'm gonna say the egg.
Okay.
Now, why would you say the chicken?
Well, organisms got to start from somewhere, you know. I don't think it popped out of an egg. I think it started out as like, single-celled organism, grew slowly, and then it developed to reproduce with eggs. Obviously, it probably didn't start out with an egg. Like an egg didn't just appear and then a chicken popped out. So I'm thinking like, well, it had to be a chicken to lay an egg.
I think the egg came first because think of this, right? Pretend you're a chicken,
Okay.
right? But say you're the first chicken ever made.
Mhm.
Now, were you made by live birth, or did you come out of an egg? And did the thing laying the egg might not necessarily be a chicken, but the ancestor or predecessor of the chicken laying the egg? Something to think about.
No, that's something to think about. I guess it depends on what you classify as a chicken, because the ancestors of chickens were probably not, they're not chickens,
Right.
but they probably came from eggs. But if you go even further than that, it was probably some kind of like organism that doesn't look anything like a chicken.
Like say like a frog, right? Or like a turtle or something comes up out of the water, right? Because that's where everything came out from the water, supposedly, right? I think it came from God, but if you really,
it rained down.
and actually God just snapped everything into existence. No, but say like a turtle or a frog, came up, laid an egg, right? And then but it changed slightly. Well, yeah, a chicken came out, sort of something like that, where it's like, say like a reptilian chicken kind of came onto land, and it wasn't called a chicken. Say it was like something, like a chicken alligator or something, like hybrid almost, or just an early ancestor of the chicken, right? And then that is used to laying eggs of its kind.
Yeah.
But then a mutation happens in the egg, or when it reproduces, and they lay the
egg that births
the chicken. So egg laying has been around before the chicken, is all I'm trying to say.
Okay. I see what you're trying to get at.
Yeah. right? And
Hmm.
people say, oh, it's the chicken, because the chicken makes the egg and the, well, it depends. I think it's the
Yeah, I
main
guess chicken and
factor.
egg.
The main factor, I think, is if the first chicken was born from an egg,
Hmm.
then the egg must have came first. Or if the first chicken was a live birth, and then the first chicken from then on
I
laid
think
eggs.
most animals before mammals, because mammals are known for giving live births. I
Yeah,
think most animals were laying eggs beforehand, so you do have a point.
yeah. Something to think about, you
Hmm.
know. It's
I mean,
it's
dinosaurs didn't give live
not the
births.
typical dinosaurs, yeah, because they were birds.
They were birds.
Yeah,
Everyone thinks they're lizards. No, they have feathers.
yeah. Things change every day, you know. It's just a testament to that, I
Yep.
think. And dinosaurs becoming, not becoming birds, but we discovering that they've always been birds
Hmm.
was a part of that. How we learn something new every day.
Yep. Everything
Dinosaurs have
changes.
feathers.
Yeah.
T-Rex.
They have so many textbooks to change.
Yeah, right. I
So many
know.
models to change
History
too.
books.
Yep. Those
Yeah,
museum models. The dinosaur outside the Museum of Science. You gotta change it.
they got it. Yep.
It's not. It's not a
Or
lizard.
else it's slander. It's blasphemy.
Yeah.
Yep. They should actually put God above it.
They should put a
And that
giant
would be
hand.
accurate. That would
That'd be
actually
pretty
be
accurate.
that
Yeah.
would be accurate. Just God.
It's easier to explain.
Putting bones in the earth. They didn't
Yeah.
actually exist. It was just bone. Hot take.
Hmm. Easier to explain.
Yeah,
You know,
right?
why would you think of, things like morphing into different creatures
No,
when you
yeah.
just say, ah, there it is.
I think dinosaurs only existed because, I mean, now that you say morphin, I think only because of the Power Rangers.
Okay.
They had to create dinosaurs in
Yeah.
order to,
They did. Power Rangers did make a dinosaur.
yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Hmm.
is that because of Power Rangers, yeah, anyways.
I guess
That's a good topic.
I guess we could do religion now that you're talking about God and
Yeah,
chickens. What do you think of religion? What's your hot take
my
about it?
hot take is I think religion's nice, but also
Are you religious?
gets a little out of hand. I would say I'm spiritual.
Hmm.
I
So
wouldn't
not
go
religious.
so not religious, but into religion,
Hmm.
I would say. I used to be very Catholic.
Hmm.
I went to church a lot, and that was like me growing up through high school and my whole life. Um, so that was me. And then I got to college and, new environment. I
Hmm.
think I just used church as it was more of like well, it was nice to go to. I did go to a pretty good church.
Hmm.
And it was more routine, I
Yep.
think, going meditation almost. It was good for my brain. Um,
I feel like back home it's more cultural to
yeah,
go to church.
to go to church, your local church, the hometown church. And then once I got to college, I'm like, I don't really have time to go to church. I don't even know what church to go to,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. I took a class on religions that actually opened my eyes up to a bunch of other religions, which was really cool. Something like Buddhism,
Hmm.
Taoism, um, stuff like Hinduism,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. Just really spread it out. Islam, everything, And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Just seeing someone else's religion, their beliefs, their stuff like that. And I think there's something to take from every little or big religion,
Hmm.
and you can learn from it. So. I like that aspect of it being kind of like a guide of morals, a guide like just how to be like a decent human being, a
Yeah.
good
No, I
human
agree.
being. And you don't have to, obviously you don't have to do religion
Hmm.
if you to learn how to be a good human being.
Yeah. It's a good
Um,
start though.
it's a
It's a
good,
good
yeah,
guide.
it's a good, most of the time it's a good organization to get
Hmm.
into
Yeah. I know. Sometimes it gets a little out of hand.
and little good community. Yeah, it does
Yeah.
really get out of hand a lot, being in Boston.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of religious fanatics running around.
Religious, yeah, cults, religious fanatic. I mean, cults are crazy.
Cults are
They
crazy.
definitely still exist, and they're
Hmm.
everywhere. You can't escape a cult.
Yeah, you
Well, you
can.
can escape a cult, but you can't
It's
escape
hard
the
to
presence of a
it's
cult.
hard to identify a cult too. Sometimes you don't
That
know
is
you're in a
true.
cult.
Sometimes you don't even realize. Sometimes there's good cults and bad cults, like cults that, um, cults by nature, by name,
Hmm.
but they might just be like a little group that.
Yeah.
And I think I have actually talked about this before on the podcast, talking about this class, where you can be in any group and organization and just it's labeled as a cult because you have a same set of beliefs
Hmm.
and virtues that you practice and do and believe in within that organization or group, maybe even just a group of friends that get together or like a club or something, that would technically be under the definition of a cult, I would say. But the layman's term of cult, it's really, those bad, the bad
Yeah, you're
stuff.
thinking of like the tricking the fruit punch kind of cults.
Yeah, the sexual assault cults, the kind of we're gonna bomb places, like that
Yeah.
kind of like
No, those aren't good.
horrific cults. Yeah, but some of those still exist.
I always wondered how like people get swooped into those.
It's always I took another class on that
Oh,
on
okay. Wow.
on cult beliefs, and I did a whole presentation. This was when I was at UMass Boston, and I was learning from there. And it was a whole thing about it's structured. You have the charismatic leader, you have people who are either neglected or desperate or looking for opportunity. You have often people who are mentally ill and kind of not, I wouldn't say abused, but roped in, I would say, to be a part of the organization. And then you have eventually, even if it starts with a good purpose, you get these bad cults, especially when there's something evil in nature towards it. The charismatic leader becomes greedy. He wants to take more drugs, abuse more power. Power is like a big thing. You have a lot of cults using blackmail, taking passports, all these kinds of things just to control them. And I would say, yeah, so there's that. And, eventually it becomes, a cover story of something twisted goes on because it gets to that kind of level. And sometimes they're stopped before anything gets too out of hand, which is nice. But then you have like the Jonestown, which is the Kool-Aid. You have, and I don't know, like Rajneesh Param. You have a whole list of things that are just Nixium, in Bikram yoga, all these kinds of cults, which is unfortunate. People get taken advantage of, they get put in the wrong place, and a lot of the time they are taken care of, especially at the beginning. They're taken care of, they're put in a positive community, and they're being.
At first it starts out good, but then it kind of like spirals down, and then they're kind of stuck there because they feel bad.
Exactly, yeah. And even if they do want to leave, like a lot of the time they don't have the choice. They're either
a lot of times they get pressured into it.
Pressured in, they get blackmail held over them, whether it's like inappropriate pictures of them, especially, and or like they physically take away part of your identity or your legal status, making you unable to return back into normal society, which is it's a bad thing. But having like a peaceful sect or religion is nothing to be that weary of. I would look into it and make sure you don't, you're not getting into anything too risky or bad. Like never give anything too personal of information. I would say really like be safe, be cautious, but
don't make it your life.
As long as you have positive practice and values towards your life, no problem with that. I love religion and I love the spirituality of everything, and it definitely it helps you think, it helps you cope, it helps with a lot of things. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Big religion guy.
Big religious man. Pro religion, not pro.
Not pro cult.
Not pro cult or any of those mega churches that like steal people's money and. So just be careful.
Be wary.
Be wary. Be warned. Our
Cults
next
kind of remind me
topic.
of those like pyramid schemes where they just kind of like
Yes, where they the recruitment aspect, especially a lot of these like the early ones. I mean, we don't have the technology we do today, or we didn't have the technology we have today, obviously. Today it's probably even more dangerous, but before you would have like a like an ad.
High school.
Close friend from high school or something.
Door, be like, hey, you want to buy some of these? And you're like, oh yeah.
Hey, friends.
He's like, so you want to make money? I heard you're poor. And you're like, well, I do like money.
Yeah, I used to actually for a brief time. I sold it was really brief, so I didn't actually sell anything, but it was a pyramid scheme where Cutco knives.
What's
Like
that?
I was a knife salesman. You sell like a set of cutlery.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of those pyramid schemes where
Yeah, you got to recruit people on the end.
the training was such such. I did like I didn't like actually go into the job or get paid or anything because I quit during the training because I was like, this is too much. They made me like call every one of my contacts and be
Yep.
like, hey, do you need any, like go off the script, and then if you recommend your friends, you get a knife set or like
Hmm.
some bonus, and it's like I only got in because my friend recommended
Oh,
me,
yeah, that's
and I was
exactly how
like,
it goes.
oh, I do need a winter job,
Hmm.
so I'll get into it. Um, but it does remind me of that where it's like you have a connection, they rope you into it, and it might look good at first, it might be beneficial for you, but in the end, it might be something a little
They just
twisted.
soak you dry.
Yeah, they do
Suck
suck
you
me
dry.
dry. That's the phrase of the day. But yeah, I'd be careful of that. And the recruiting aspect, like before they'd have an ad in the magazine or
Hmm.
something, or like VHS tape you'd have or something, some ad somewhere, a poster or flyer
Hmm.
saying, oh, if you want to feel good about yourself again, like, oh, call this number, show up to this meeting. It might be disguised as, oh, it's simple yoga. Oh, we're just
Yeah.
gonna do yoga
Some
and feel
yoga,
good.
dude.
And then it turns
Free.
into like a whole
You guys should
sexual
sell
assault.
yoga. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't know you were going there. I thought it was going to be
Well,
like,
yoga can get a
yeah.
lot of those yoga cults are sexual assault,
Hmm.
like hot yoga and Bikram yoga stuff
Yeah.
like that. Um, because the yogis are like crazy.
Yeah.
So, but you got to be careful, and especially now, like cults or like radical groups are kind of
Hmm.
using the same kind of. The internet is vast, and you
It
can
is, guys.
influence people in any way possible.
Hmm.
Like especially like Twitch and
Yep.
appealing to like younger audiences who are technologically
Yeah. Savvy
savvy,
kids.
and they're on Twitch and they know they're streamers, but then they get introduced to like these other like niche groups that they
Yeah.
find
There's
cool,
yeah, like
but
the
then they
streamers will
have
collab with like another person, and then they start
yeah,
watching them,
I
and then
know
like
it's a
that
whole
that person
spiral.
associated with like some kind of like extremist group is like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna go bomb this bank later,
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, sweet.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to take a stance on people like Andrew Tate who came
Yeah.
up within the this time frame of between the podcast episodes. So you got Andrew Tate where he's platformed, and then you have young people who listen to
Hmm.
him and just mass spread these beliefs and
Yeah.
everything. And then you have deplatforming, which I think is another huge thing, which I don't know necessarily should or should not. I mean, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram. These are private companies; they can
Hmm.
put whatever they want out there, and deplatform. Like you obviously don't want anything like super racist
Yeah.
or anything discriminatory or anything
Hmm.
out there, but
People like
also like
uh, people like Andrew Tate, they're just telling you like what you want to hear. Like they
right,
want, people always want to hear you're right, they're
hmm
wrong, and he's just one of
yeah,
those people that are like, you
among
wanna.
many others,
Hmm.
many
Oh yeah, there's
and
many influencers that
and
just
then
tell you
those
you're the
beliefs,
right one, they're
right,
wrong,
yeah,
you guys are right. It's like, oh, okay.
or even like roping, let's say Andrew Tate, with streaming, I think
Hmm.
he roped in a lot of other popular streamers, and then those spread to other audiences, and it's just like a huge thing that grows, and it's just something to be careful about. There's one thing if you like see something and you enjoy it and you like take the values from it, sure,
Hmm.
but I think sometimes it can get a lot out of hand,
Yeah.
and so you got to be careful on what you get put out there, and it's very dangerous for children too because sometimes you don't realize
Yeah, the young impressionable
in
minds.
young impressionable minds, and they're not always supervised by their parents
Oh
when they're
yeah,
on
no,
these.
most of the time they're not because parents
Hmm.
are, they're working or they're busy cooking.
Right. I mean, with cell phones and everything, like you can pull up anything anywhere, and it's
Yep.
like it's
You have the world's knowledge in your pocket, and
right,
sometimes people aren't ready for that,
right,
and
yeah,
sometimes the knowledge is wrong too.
and yeah, yeah, I would say that, and even with a vast amount of access to information, I think it's like the charismatic people again who know how to use the system, use that
Hmm.
information,
Yep.
and spread it in a way that benefits. their beliefs, and
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what we see. So I mean, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you have people who spread kindness and good
Yeah.
values, and you see that everywhere throughout media with TV shows and that fall under like certain guidelines to really make good impressions on
Yeah.
people.
Although
So
sometimes that's not what people always want to hear either. Sometimes people
mhm,
like to just hear the worst thing that
yeah,
someone's ever said in their life, and they think it's funny.
and they do, yeah, and then even still, like, even with what you're saying, like finding something funny you find online, and then see that this person said something wild, so I'm going to check out this other thing. You get roped into their kind of
Mm-hmm.
personality,
Yep.
and then eventually, at once, what was a joke, it is
Mm-hmm.
now turned into like, no,
My favorite,
I'm
yeah,
exposed to this guy so much that I'm kind of like, oh, he's maybe saying he's something
yeah. I
something
think
I agree with.
yeah, one of the best examples I can think of is just Donald Trump.
I was gonna say the same
Um,
thing. Yeah.
I don't see him as a politician. I don't see him as a
Hmm.
businessman. I see him as a cult leader.
He's a celebrity.
He's a celebrity, yep.
Yeah.
And there's just a really select group of people who he appeals to,
Yeah.
that just happen to love him. Look at
Hmm.
the January 6th insurrection.
That's
Those
right.
aren't You wouldn't classify them as Republicans or
Hmm.
as like I don't know, like a certain group of people. Those are just Trump fans. Those
Hmm.
aren't like you
Those
know.
aren't, yeah. And you even have in the news today, Republicans don't really associate themselves with Trump as much,
Hmm.
because of this or that, right? But because he's become his own kind of
He's
like
his own figure,
identity.
yeah.
Yeah. So his own like
Like if he would run
leader,
under like a what's it called when you're not Democrat or Republican?
independent
Independent. Like if he
almost.
like ran as an
There's different
independent,
parties. So
yeah.
it's, yeah.
If he ran as an independent, like he would still do pretty good, even with
Yeah.
half the back
Yeah.
support
Because
of the
he's got his own little
Republicans.
fan club.
Yep, he
Right.
has his own fan club.
And then you have like these again with the
Hmm.
impressionable
Yep,
young people.
especially young
He's a,
people.
he's a
They're
meme.
they're
I
telling
mean,
people what they want to hear.
right?
The young kids, they're like, oh, I don't know where I
Yeah,
was going with
I
that.
don't. Yeah, right. But I mean, Donald Trump's a meme. You
Yeah,
see him,
exactly. He's a
and
personality.
he is a celebrity. He's like an influencer almost. He's
Hmm.
like
He is an influencer.
he influences a lot of people. Um, he's funny to examine
Hmm.
as a being,
Yep.
and I think
He's
kids
just
see
like one of
these
the most.
memes and
Like,
then they
even look at
meme
the
on it.
presidential debate.
They say those. I don't know. He says like some catchphrases. I don't know.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
bet
he
you
has
could
a lot of
have. He's
catchphrases.
got a lot of catchphrases, and then you have like young kids who repeat those catchphrases and think
Yep.
back,
And then
look
they're like,
back,
in the
and
back
they're
of their
like,
head, they're like, I like this guy.
oh wow, this guy's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's jump on that
And then
bandwagon.
he starts saying things, and you're like, oh yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah,
Because you don't know what to
right.
believe.
Because you don't know what, as a young person, you don't know what to believe.
Like the presidential debate was like a little shit fest.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it.
it is crazy.
They weren't debating;
I
they were
know.
just yelling, and
They
then
were
like
just
they're
yelling
talking
at each
over each
other.
other.
I know. It
And
wasn't
him and
even like
Hillary.
what we're gonna do for the
It
community. It's
wasn't.
just
It wasn't
what the
why you
other
should vote for me. It
person,
was why you suck.
why the other person sucks, why the other
Yeah.
team sucks. Yeah.
It was like a comedy show almost.
It was a
And
roast. It was the roast
yeah, it was a
of
roast session, and
a
then
roast sesh.
that's
Yeah.
what that's what presidential debates have come to.
That really, and it's sad, right?
It's sad.
It's sad. You hate to see it,
Said
but
that your future is a comedy show.
yeah. Um, yeah, it's stay away from that
Hmm.
is what we're saying. Be careful on who you
Don't listen to everyone.
be careful on your role models because even if they do look like role models, they're not always what you
And role
see,
models are
right?
people too. They have their own desires
They have their own
and
desires
beliefs.
and
Sometimes role
yeah,
models aren't the best.
yeah, that's true. And just figure out yourself what you believe
Hmm.
in.
Yeah.
Just kind of instead of you know just absorbing what other people have to say. I would say be unbiased, be
Hmm.
your own person, develop your own thoughts. I think
Yeah.
that's the big thing.
Don't let someone tell you what to believe in.
Right, right. um, yes. And so and anything that we say on this podcast, you don't have to necessarily believe,
Oh no.
obviously. Um,
You
that's
can
just a part
disagree.
of that's a part of
We
the
had different
American
opinions.
dream is you can have your own thoughts
We had different
and
opinions
beliefs
on the chicken and the egg.
and the
Nothing
chicken
wrong with
and the
that.
egg. Yeah, that's
Nothing wrong with
true.
that.
That's a little example that we should show.
Hmm.
The chicken and the egg. We don't all think the same.
Primal chicken.
But we're all human. We all bleed red. Amen.
Amen.
All right. The last topic. Nope. Our next topic is a little piece of pop culture. I don't know if you're familiar with the Last of Us series,
I am not.
and that's
I've
okay.
seen the video game.
The video game, yeah.
That's what it's based off of,
Basically
right?
the same thing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They're very similar.
Never played it.
Me neither. But I have watched the show. I'm caught up on episode 6, I think. So the farthest we've caught up on.
That's
And
where these zombie shows always get popular. Like
they do like The Walking Dead. Yeah, this one. What was that movie with John Batista? Zack Snyder directed it. Army of the Dead. Anything with zombies is like huge.
What was that like? World War Z?
World War Z with Brad Pitt.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. And zombie movies, they're fun. You know,
Yeah,
especially at a grand like global scale. They're always fun to
Yeah, they're always
observe.
fun.
You know, it's also a lot of the time it's a social commentary on stuff, and you know, it's just a fun action horror, great genre. You can't go wrong with zombie movie. Well, you can, but most of the time you can't.
Yeah.
Hard to go wrong for the most part. They're fun, even if they're bad. They're fun. You know, zombies are fun. The Last of Us really broke through. I think they made zombies like these out of mushrooms or like fungus zombies, which I think is weird. And then you have like these recent headlines being like, oh, the fungus from the game is actually like real and growing in real life, and like, you know,
It's
the
always
things
fun to
that they're
think
saying
about.
are actually true. Like if the
Yeah.
temperature rises, these will actually like take over. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like,
oh, the ice is gonna melt and the secret fungus is gonna
Secret
come out from the
fungus.
sea and someone's gonna drink it.
and
You're
yeah,
the first zombie.
zombie. It's like the most real aspect you can think of, which is like crazy. I don't know. It's just wild.
Yeah.
But what I really wanted to ask you is, what is your plan? What, like, say you're at home, you're in your apartment, right? And you hear sirens go off for the zombie
Is there a zombie
apocalypse.
siren?
There's a zombie siren
So like
specific.
Boston has like their own zombie siren?
They have their own.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes it
I know.
like a zombie alert
Okay.
almost. What are you taking? Where do you go? And what's like your plan? That's what I want to know from
All
you.
right. I guess first thing I'm going for, you know, got to get somewhere
Essentials.
far.
I said, what do you get for essentials?
All right,
You're
what I'm
packing your bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely getting some like wet weather gear.
Okay, that's
packing
good.
some tarps,
Extra socks.
extra socks.
Yep, always.
Yep. And more important than you think.
Yeah.
You know, some people are like, I'm going for my gun. No, I've got an extra pair of socks.
Gun's gonna be no use against those zombies.
I know, that's what I mean. Like, what are you gonna do? Shoot them dead?
Shoot them dead, they'll come
Yeah,
back. They're
exactly.
zombies.
You got to do like a physical thing. Like,
Yeah,
you got to
like
cut
chop
them in
off
half.
their head or something. Yeah, something like that.
Um,
I see that.
I guess the first thing I'm going for, you know, packing my clothes,
Mm-hmm.
put on like my army bags.
Yeah. Oh, you
and
got
I'm-
that one leg up, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
you got that army packing
I
knowledge.
always think like out of all the people at Suffolk at least,
Yeah.
I'd definitely be most prepared to
Most
just
prepared.
be living in the woods.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I'd be prepared for that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm gonna
So
go.
yeah, I feel like in Boston, Massachusetts, you're going to school here.
Yeah.
You don't have that many outdoors.
No, I'm going like
Right.
north and like west. I'm going to like Vermont area.
I like that. I like that a
New
lot,
Hampshire.
actually. Vermont, yeah. Actually,
What zombies are gonna be and I'm gonna get
That's
there,
true.
and they're gonna be like, "Oh, the troops are here." I'm gonna go, "No, it's just some idiot,
hmm
some idiot with a extra pair of socks."
Yeah,
Uh,
the troops. You're gonna be.
yeah.
Are you gonna be wearing like your uniform? Your ticket
Probably not.
uniform?
I'll probably wear
Okay.
something. I'll definitely be wearing like my boots, but you
Yeah.
know. And I think they'll be welcoming.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
hope so.
Well,
I guess there's a
That's
part
actually
in the last
interesting.
that's like, "Oh, are you a zombie?" And I'll go,
no.
"Yeah, I'll show you. I'll
Are you
show you how to do
infected?
calculus."
Are you infected?
No.
No, that's not me. Vermont's are really good, especially like rural parts.
Yeah.
I think there are
Because
parts
a
of
lot of them are
Massachusetts.
self-sustaining.
A lot, yeah.
Because a lot of them, they don't go outside and like do trading. They
Get like a
just,
good farm out there.
yep,
Good
go in
farm.
there.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I'm not like staying in the city and, you know, I'm not on top of a skyscraper with like a machine
Right.
gun and a helicopter going,
right,
That's not gonna be me. That's gonna be
no,
like some other guy who's a lot cooler and stronger than me.
right. Who owns a helicopter?
Who owns a helicopter and a
Yeah,
machine gun.
and a machine gun.
No, I'm gonna be in the middle of the woods with probably like a baseball bat or something.
That's sick.
You
What would
know,
you do with a baseball bat?
just like hit them over the head.
Oh, the zombies?
Yeah, the zombies.
Yeah. What if
Yeah.
yeah.
If
No,
there's a
that's
bunch
good.
of them, I'm running.
Well, there's not going to be that much in
Yeah.
Vermont.
I'm imagining like zombies can't be faster than me because I do cross country.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
a
what if
lot
they
of,
get on all fours and run like a dog? Feel
I
no
could
pain. They feel
still.
no pain.
They don't feel pain, but they
Yeah.
also
They don't have that
they're not gonna have.
circulation.
Yeah, they're not gonna have the circulation.
Right.
And since they're rotting corpses, they're gonna be gone within a few days.
That's true.
So like, I don't think a zombie apocalypse would last very long. I think it'd last a few years.
I think a
And
few
I think that's
years.
gonna be it.
I think
I think it'd be similar to COVID.
if you get out in
Timeline
time,
length was.
well, COVID's still
It's still there, but like
It's still there.
you can keep getting it over. Once you're a zombie, you're dead.
yeah.
It's over for you.
Zombie is like yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Unless
gonna
you find a
wipe out a
cure.
lot of people.
Yeah.
Unless you find the cure. Yeah, that's right.
Unless you find a cure,
But even a cure, I don't think a cure would work for zombies. I think a vaccine maybe.
a vaccine.
So if you get bitten, you could still live, whereas a cure, you can't turn a zombie back into human, I don't think.
Mhm.
You know,
No, it's probably done by
go
then.
from green skin
Yeah.
to beautiful,
Normal.
lush skin.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Half your organs are probably rotted away anyway.
I know, right? Something to think about. So that's the zombie
What's your plan?
plan. My plan, Vermont seems nice.
Mhm.
I'd say definitely get out of a city,
Yep.
find somewhere where I could
Go far.
self sustaining.
Yep.
I would say
Find a useful skill. Find
go
a bunch
far,
of,
far. Like
find a bunch of
maybe
people with other useful skills and
Yep.
just
form a family.
Form a
Get
family,
Yeah, I would go probably like very rural, like probably like Montana would be
Mhm.
cool. Or
Yeah, that'd be good.
Wyoming.
Yep.
Just have a
Middle of
little
the country.
community.
No,
Yeah,
you'd be safe there.
middle of the woods, like nothing
Think
to be
zombies
afraid
can
of.
swim?
No,
No.
I don't think zombies could swim.
I feel like their bodies would just like pull apart in the water.
I feel like they would sink. I feel like they would sink.
Yeah, they'd probably sink.
No air in them to keep them afloat.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true. Yeah.
not
What
good.
would you classify as zombie then? Like, is it like someone with like a diseased mind, or is it like just like a rotting corpse that's alive?
Well, let's think about this, right? We could have
Because like a diseased mind.
because there's different types of zombies, right? There's
Okay.
World War Z zombie, which is like no longer alive,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, like they're dead, they're rotting away.
They're rotting away. The mind is probably in some parasite, something, some small-minded stuff going on, but the body will forever keep going, unless you like chop off their head or like blow them up or something, right? That's what I say. Or you have like the mushroom spore fungus one, which is like it's kind of similar, I think. They take control of the body through the brain, through like the neurons and stuff like that.
Because like zombies that are already dead, like that's not like that'd be pretty easy to deal with in my head.
Yeah.
Obviously, like if there's a ton of them, I'm fucked. But
Yeah.
like the one with
A
the
living
fungus, I think
zombie.
would be a living zombie. That'd be harder to kill. 'Cause
That would be tough.
It's a live person.
Maybe like a half infected person.
Because then if their minds are just diseased, they can still live. They can still
Yeah,
like, be alive.
that'd be interesting. I wonder how that would work. Like a mental disorder that
a mental
causes
disorder that
you
was
to
contagious and
be a
just like
zombie.
yeah, and you just want to kill everyone every second.
They should make a movie of that. That's
Yeah.
another good movie idea.
Take notes
Zombie
from
movie,
Hollywood.
but instead of the undead, it's just
The
living
living.
people
That are just mentally deranged.
mentally
It's
deranged.
kind of like
Mentally-
Tremont Street, honestly.
Like, yeah, yeah. I think we're actually living a zombie apocalypse right now.
Yeah, I walk through it every day. I'm like, you here.
I know, come out of the subway, see some zombies.
There are some zombies in Boston.
Yeah, there's some zombies, there's some
They're
werewolves.
alive, but they're dead.
On a full moon, there's some werewolves out there, that's for sure. Some weirdos, some deranged.
Yeah.
Which is a commentary on the poor system we have.
Yeah, we have a very bad.
Homeless, mental illness.
Our
that kind of
system with
stuff.
dealing with homeless is horrible.
Yeah. Oh, it's awful. It is, and I'm actually taking a human rights class right now, and the stuff we've been learning about is very similar. We've talked about housing, homeless, like a lack of housing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of our basic rights.
For just people with jobs.
Yeah, one of our basic rights should be shelter.
Food,
And
water, and shelter.
full food, water, shelter. That's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yep, you need the bottom.
You need the bottom of the pyramid. We're talking about pyramids. Less of schemes, but more like necessity, like
Yep.
like
Yeah,
virtues.
Maslow's hierarchy.
Maslow's
Yeah.
hierarchy of needs.
You just need the bottom.
You
Build
need
the
the
top.
right. You can't have love
And I feel like it's
and
not like
art
that
without.
difficult either to like. We always have so much like food supplies. Like most food that people eat is thrown away. I think
Yeah.
it's like 60% of food that is
Yeah.
like created is like thrown away. It's not even eaten. Like who's buying the food and throwing it away?
Right.
That's what I want to know. Like I always save my food. I heat up the next day.
Right.
So I feel like it's not like that difficult to like feed everyone. Maybe at least in America.
Even
Other
like
places it's a little hard because a lot of African countries the land is no water.
right, but even still, like I was
Land won't
I was
grow.
reading something and yeah, and it's like the richest people alive. If even one of them share like half their wealth, they could solve world hunger, end so many conflicts,
Yeah,
and
no,
just it's a shame,
it is.
but
Imagine like being a billionaire. It's like just half of your wealth,
yeah,
just half,
not even just a fraction of
a
your wealth
fraction could like solve all these issues, and then you say,
could save a community
no,
and save countries even,
Mhm.
and it's and you're just like,
No.
yeah, I'm just gonna keep it.
yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
I worked hard for this.
What are you gonna use it for?
I
What are
always
they
like.
gonna?
Have
You
you ever
already
seen
got
those
it excited.
those like hustler Instagram pages where they're like just work harder? Like all
Oh yeah.
the richest people alive work so hard to get there. It's like no one can work hard enough to get like millions of dollars.
Develop this schedule where you
Yeah.
sleep 2
Wake
hours
up
a
at
day
3
and
a.m. does not give
you
you $1
work the
million.
rest 22 hours. Take 15-minute breaks.
Yeah.
Drink solution that enhances your drink this mushroom solution that enhances your brain.
Yeah, become the living dead.
Yeah, and that's they are actually zombies. You ever see someone like that?
Yeah.
Where they're just like they work themselves like nearly to death and they become like
Connor's like that right now.
a shell of a being.
Mhm.
Poor man.
Yeah.
Connor, send help.
Send help.
Send help. Bring him on. Send help. But yeah, I mean, here's another topic that I have. It's really not been in the news, but I have seen it like on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. There have been asteroids hitting the atmosphere and exploding, entering in, and creating like holes not holes in the atmosphere, but I mean when you impact an atmosphere and
Yeah.
like blow up
Yeah, it's not
in
gonna
the
be like
air, it's
the
not
atmosphere's
gonna
not gonna be like very excited about that.
right. It's not gonna be happy. It's
Yeah.
not gonna. It's gonna be a
Atmosphere's
little
not
upset. Right. It's going to be a little upset that something's going on, right? So, and they've been happening. There's been one in just west of London, I believe, and even more going around the world. And it doesn't happen too often, but I mean, what I've been noticing is that these no coverage, and I mean, it is granted, it is something that we can't really
Nothing you can really do about
do.
it.
Like it's all space stuff, unless we get the Space Force up there, hit
Yeah,
it with
send 'em
something,
up there.
send them up there, do like a little mission to destroy these massive asteroids.
We have recently developed some kind of, I think it's like a cannon of sorts, where like you're able to shoot down I think it's an asteroid, maybe a meteor, I don't know.
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
Like a really big one to be able to like divide it up.
Yeah.
That was pretty recent. I think like maybe a year ago or two.
Oh, that might. Oh, well, then these asteroids might be an aftermath of that,
Could be, I don't know.
Try to like
Maybe they shot like a
change
big
the
one.
trajectory, and then just parts happen to fall into the globe. Something to think about. I mean, they just made a movie about that. I think Moonfall. I don't think it came out that good, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, got that guy from Game of Thrones on it.
I like space stuff though. I'm in an astronomy class right now. It's
Yeah.
not that interesting to be honest, because it's all like math stuff.
Yeah.
I like astronomy in general. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool to learn.
It's just a cool thing. I mean, space is like so much larger than us.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's a really cool thing to think about. And there's always more to discover.
There's always more.
I think there's a part of like a part of human beings that are explorers,
Mm-hmm.
and we've already explored like all the globe.
Yep, all the globes.
We got satellite footage and
Yep.
everything. I think we're afraid of the ocean.
Antarctica. What do you think about Antarctica? What do you think's there?
Real estate.
Real estate. Just melt the ice caps.
Global warming, keep
we'll
it
have some
going.
condos up there real soon.
Yeah, I mean, don't they have? I think they do have some buildings in
They have
Antarctica.
buildings in Antarctica.
They have like some churches and research stations.
I know they have a lot of research stations. I don't know about churches.
Yeah, I think there is a church.
Is there a church?
Yeah.
One crazy guy.
One crazy guy. Yeah, that's fucking God wants me here. He wants me on this nation.
This one right here.
This continent.
Have you ever seen like the conspiracy? There's like, what's in Antarctica? And they're like, it's a hole, and it leads to like,
base of aliens.
Yeah, they think all the alien stuff goes on in Antarctica.
Yeah,
I always see like,
would be a good space for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, space.
Mm-hmm.
See what they did there. Yeah. Well, gotta be careful about those aliens.
Yeah, no kidding.
In space. So keep your eye out and up for those asteroids because they be coming. And then yeah, so the moral of this episode, I would say, is be your own person, have your own thoughts.
Yep.
Do your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do your thing.
Watch out for Antarctica.
Keep your eye out
Real estate
on Antarctica. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your eye out on global warming
Mm-hmm.
because
Eat good food.
the future. I mean, I'm scared for the summer, to be
Yep.
honest. With the amount of stuff that happened such a big difference in winters
Mm-hmm.
from this winter to last winter.
Yep.
Crazy difference, like with the 60-degree weather. And I bet last year we've had some good days.
We did. I
Right,
remember a few.
That I was like, what the hell is up
Well, like,
with
there's
this?
a lot more
But
this year.
this year is insane. I know. Like it's February. It should be like
Mhm.
freezing,
It's
but
the
it's
coldest
not.
part of the year.
Right.
Should be.
Should be, but it isn't.
Nope.
It's like the warmest
Yeah.
so far.
It's not.
So just something to keep an eye on and do your part.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's something small, even if like you don't have the opportunity.
Just as small as not throwing out your food.
Right.
You just
Eat your
again.
food. Right. Just eat up.
Mhm.
Don't
Don't let it go to waste.
Don't let it
Don't
go
let
to
it spoil
waste.
either in your fridge.
Right.
Remember about it.
Remember, be your own person. Space
Space is cool.
is cool. Look into that.
Yep. Okay.
Have your own interests. Have your own hobbies. Do your own thing. And yeah, just be safe. Be kind
Mm-hmm.
to everyone. And
Don't eat dining hall food.
yeah, eat. Learn to cook.
Learn to cook.
Time management is a
Mhm.
big thing.
Oh yeah.
And if you are, looking into universities or anything, take everything into account.
Take everything.
I'm not saying Suffolk's a bad school. Suffolk has its perks. It's got the 4 credit classes. It's got very handy resources, I think, and everyone here is nice. It's a good community, right in the city. If you want a city life, I definitely recommend it.
Mhm.
Right in the Common, great area.
Food.
Food's not that good, but
Don't come here for the food.
don't come here for that. Other than that, Ted Culture is back.
Ted Culture's back for another season.
Yeah,
Release the gummy bears.
the gummy bears, the Cubs, the
Mm-hmm.
whatever you guys are called. Vote below what you want to be called. It's been a pleasure having you on, Zach.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Love to have you on again.
Mhm.
Really, you're really strong start
Mm-hmm.
to this next season of
Yeah.
Tech Culture. So pretty happy about it. Yeah. So keep your eye out for new episodes, for new announcements. The Instagram will probably be back up and running. So, yep. Thank you all for watching, and let's do a little ending. Ready? So we're gonna clap on 3. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, clap.
All right.
All right, and then we'll end it. So again, thank you for watching and listening. Tech Culture is back. If you're interested in being on the podcast, obviously let me know, or let me know who you would want to see on the podcast as well. So thank you all. Thank you. Ready? 1, 2, 3.